This is News Talk 980 CKNW.
It's only Wednesday, but lots is happening in the world of finance, Linda. It seems like the worries over people losing their jobs to robots and artificial intelligence is gaining a little bit of momentum, with heavyweights like Tesla's Elon Musk and Microsoft's Bill Gates weighing in on maybe taxing them.
All right. Plus, you also heard yesterday there are tax changes in the BC budget. So let's bring in Michael Campbell, host of Canada's #1 rated financial show, Money Talks. Hey, Mike, welcome to Pink Shirt Day. Now, I heard your business comment yesterday. Obviously, you feel pretty strong about what's going on.
Well, one of the big trends we've outlined on Money Talk starting in 2014 was a rise of sort of societal discord. We've seen it with violent protests. I think we've got a growing intolerance for different views. So I don't think it's ever been more important. I mean, I think we've all watched and experienced the culture of disrespect grow. Mm-hmm. I don't think we're really surprised then that, various forms of bullying have also grown. I mean, you're in the talk show host business. You've seen it through your texts and emails.
Oh, yeah.
And all of us just look at the internet. I mean, every politician has experienced. I know in Alberta, they've been tracking that sort of incredible surge in nastiness. And again, I looked at Rachel Notley had received 412 incidents of threats.
That's
and
crazy.
26 were deemed so serious, they took it to the RCMP.
Yeah.
But again, think about our politics. It's the politics of division. It's identity politics. All of it designed to divide people. Mm-hmm. And I think we shouldn't be surprised of what's gone on with this. And as I say, I find this an incredibly important issue.
Hey, one of the things we wanted to get your take on this week is there's a lot of stuff in the news at the moment about people possibly losing their jobs to technology. We know that Bill Gates has come out about this. Elon Musk has had a few things to say as well from Tesla. What are your thoughts on what these guys are saying?
Well, Elon Musk was coming out saying that he thinks we're going to have to introduce a universal basic income, a guaranteed income, because so many people are going to lose their jobs thanks to, artificial intelligence and other tech changes. But, I was thinking, the first time I read about that was 1797. Thomas Paine started talking about that. I mean, it's a complicated issue. There's a lot of things surrounding it. But I think the main obstacle from a financial point of view is going to be affordability. I mean, earlier this year, Switzerland rejected the idea in a referendum. Finland is doing it. But it's important to note that Finland only has 5 million people, rather. They've got these massive oil and gas revenues. But the clincher is, we're only talking about in Finland giving about $775 per month. And I was looking at the calculations, and there's many floating around in Canada. I looked at the one from the Centre for Policy Alternatives, did a calculation that showed if you gave everyone in Canada who's over the age of 18 about $600 per month, are you ready? It would cost $155 billion per year.
Whoa.
Then you got the problem with federal and provincial jurisdictions. I was interested to note, I was looking at University of Chicago brings in these economists from all over the states, very well known. And this is the question they asked, in quotes, granting every American citizen over 21 years old a universal basic income of $13,000 a year, financed by eliminating all transfer programs, Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid, housing subsidies, household welfare payments, etc. Would that be a better policy than the status quo? Well, you know what? Only 2% of the economists agreed. 60% disagreed or strongly disagreed with that. So, there you go. Again, I think it comes down to cost. I mean, if you gave everybody in the States enough to get above that poverty threshold, it costs $4 trillion a year. So it's the kind of thing that sounds good in theory, but, the practical application would be very, very difficult and financially onerous.
Hey, yeah, what's this about Bill Gates talking about taxing robots that take people's jobs?
Well, I'm looking at that and saying, is George Orwell smiling at this one? I mean, why are we waiting for now? I mean, technology has been taking people's jobs since the Industrial Revolution. We do it. Look at online banking, self-ordering kiosks, self-serve gas stations. All of that stuff's been around for a while, and it's changed the job front. We've got massive changes in manufacturing, which we've all been talking about here. So why are we singling out robotics? I mean, yes, I agree there's going to be greater momentum. But the thing that still gets me puzzled is, why is there no new talk about an approach to work, and there's no innovation about training, about education, public school education? It's my old, hobby horses, I know, but because we're ignoring them. I haven't seen any leadership in that area, just, head in the stands denial. But when I heard Mr. Gates talk about taxing robots who replace people's jobs, when I stopped laughing, I got a headache.
Hey, before you go, Mike, let's chat about the big budget that Mike de Jong handed down yesterday. A lot of changes coming tax-wise for small business in BC. Good, bad, ugly? What are your thoughts?
Well, it's interesting. In November, the BC Tax Commission, which was, convened by the provincial government, they issued their report on recommending, certain changes. And, bottom line is only a couple of the recommendations were followed. And I think it's still a reminder that good and sound economic policy, especially in the tax area, isn't necessarily the same as once politics gets a hold of it. Because good tax policy is very straightforward. If we add on a new tax, for example, it always takes money from the economy and restricts economic growth. So that's not an argument against taxes. It's an argument to say, let's choose taxes that are the least disruptive economically. And, some taxes are far worse when it comes to, sort of creating a disincentive to invest or, the capital investment, the hiring economic growth side of the equation. So that being said, I look at the budget, and one of the big recommendations was to remove the provincial sales tax from business purchases like software, telecom, electricity, because that, again, acts as a disincentive to invest and grow. Well, they did remove it from the electricity, the PST from electricity, but not from the other items. So, I just find it interesting. They had the tax commission, and then they don't follow through. And the other one is this, all these boutique tax credits. Mm-hmm. That's a great example of politics and marketing over sound economic policy. I don't think you're going to find any economist who thinks that's the way to go. But here's the thing. The governments do it so they can sort of go, attention, if you've got a child in fitness classes, you get a break, that kind of thing.
Right.
It's a marketing statement, really, because, if you put it into general tax reductions, then people don't notice it. Like next year, you're going, what have you done for me? Mm-hmm. Well, in this way, government's got to say, look what I did for you in this specific area. So it's a lot more marketing, and I'll tell you, economists aren't thrilled with that approach.
Hey, all right, Michael, always good to talk. I hope you're wearing your pink shirt because there's nothing sexier than a man wearing pink. Are you?
Well, in my case, the word sexy and anything don't usually go together, but I'm certainly wearing pink, and as I say, I don't think it's ever been more important than to focus on that subject.
I agree. All right, thanks so much, Michael Campbell.
Okay, great, thank you.
Vancouver's News, Vancouver's Talk. This is News Talk 980, CKNW.